Hi everyone, I'm Abby and welcome back to Phoenix Wright's Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Now last episode we went to trial and had to cross-examine Iris, our defendant. And yeah, she started like acting a bit weird and confessing and stuff like that, saying she helped cover up the crime, so yeah. Let's get back to that now. Okay. The snowmobile. I knew that would show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks after the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow is still falling when I left Hazakura Temple. I see. Snow is still falling, huh? And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks. About it, Mr. Wright. What do you think about this testimony? When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped? It doesn't make sense if you struck it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I like the statement I was just made added to the testimony. But does it have something to do with the case? All will be made clear if you allow our statement to be added to the record. Huh, this should be fun. Let's get the snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred? But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and it caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge? It was on fire? You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. No! Order, order, order! The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and we'll find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man. Me? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now. Squat? The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Donham was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elise Donham's body. Makes a good point, on both accounts. That's right. I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy. You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy? It is only human to err. If you're so perfect, Wright, maybe you can explain this for the court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burned down. But somehow, the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps use some kind of perfect explanation of this little magic trick? Not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across the burnt-out bridge. But the last time that someone demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. Looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. You see what I mean? In other words, you are in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth. Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more. About what, Your Honor? You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be your final testimony? Other than walking over the bridge, there was no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Are you saying that there was a way to cross a burning bridge? So it was just a misunderstanding, I see. This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. It certainly was burned to a crisp and the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Yeah. Clearly, it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder, again. Wright, I'm only going to say it one more time. It is only human to err. And only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. Yeah, his metaphors are really weird. Alright, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination. Okay. Yeah. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible with your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Preposterous! Yeah, God, it wasn't there so you wouldn't know about it. Who is it? Who is this witness? I can't chicken out here. Gotta keep on the attack and go, go, go. Miss Lily Stoneham's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Louis Stoneham. Brilliant? Highly gifted apprentice? Remember what he said in his testimony. That night, he was at the Mountain Shack Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming the victim flew through the air? And using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Uh-oh, Judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Heh. Well, Wright, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm going to prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. You're so eager to turn this case upside down. Why not start with this sketch? Upside down? Why'd God say that? Alright then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? I don't think old Whiskerface is going to forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn by Louis Stoneham is You could say exactly what happened for something funny, but it's a complete contradiction, yeah? Something is obviously funny about the sketch. I'm no art critic, but even I can see that. No. That's not what I mean, Your Honor. Wright stated it over and over, that the sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality? Huh. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger pointing thing again. Okay, trite. What exactly contradicts reality as we know it? Is this wire connected to the bridge? The wire? Huh. Is that the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out how the sketch contradicts reality. One of the wires should have been snapped. That's contradiction. That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct? Yes. Now, compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge, jumping just of it, the wires are below the guard wires. What? Order. The sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely the artist just saw it wrong? Or perhaps he just drew it wrong? Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. With someone like Ruiz, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Luis was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and eventually, finally, he lay down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. I ponder what sort of position Luis must have been in at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did. He was lying on his back? I can't see how it relates, but it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down. Ah! Ugh, no way. Maurice Stoneham witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. Yeah. So then, the sketch should actually be, I think you finally get it, Your Honor, the correct way to review Louis Stoneham's sketches like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge, it was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum. Ridiculous! Order. All the things to say, a pendulum? The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found in the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side, and a pendulum was the only way to get it done. Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Yes, that sounds right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you'd need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead. The lightning struck that night can only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create a pendulum? And the meaning of this is, if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard. Ah! This is one of the wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire on Elise Dunham's body. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Huh. Kind of ridiculous, like Max Galactica's cape attaching to his bust, yeah. Mr. Grotto? Seems like Mr. Grotto is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. Seems the odds of a rope being readily available were very high, so I suppose that's not an impossibility after all. Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Trite, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? Either the crystal sphere or the autopsy report works. Body fell 10 feet after death. Yeah, and found in an outcropping near Dusky Bridge, so either one works, yeah. 40% my evidence. Let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see that it's one that was in front of the inner temple. So then, that was the spot with the criminal? Yes, precisely. Now let's consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. The body was pushed from this point here. It would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point. Did you say drop? Well, I must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What? What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that just her body dropped some distance. What kind of evidence? Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, huh? That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum and they came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off Miss Elise Dunham's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere is found. Indeed. I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. The crystal was found... Ah! Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. Ridiculous, but yeah, that's Ace Attorney for you. This explains our theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You provided us with the way the body could have been hand moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright! I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Grotto? That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Trite. But you forgot about one thing. Oh, what would that be? The aroma. Huh? The coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffinese. Can you elaborate a bit more? If the criminal had sent the body to the other side like you said, then naturally, there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. An accomplice? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite? Mr. Grotto is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know you must do. Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice. Very well then. If you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple side? Fortunately, it has to be Iris. Remember, there was two of her at the same time? Yeah. It can only be you, Sister Iris. Huh? Ah! But I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. With her bad back, Sister Bikini can never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Trite, were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the Inner Temple Garden after a mother-daughter bloodbath. I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Gardo? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help, so you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Irish to begin with. What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple? Are you serious, Trite? You mean, this woman is... There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday, and why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand? Her real name is... Dahlia Hawthorne, yeah. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time. Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh yes, I remember now. That case 5 years ago. My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine. No, the honor is all mine. But, according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. What? Order, order, order. Wait a moment. How can you... My sister. She's already dead. What kind of... You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the crane channeling technique flows within that body. The crane channeling technique? Now where have I heard that? That's right. You're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was? Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes. We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens? Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions. What's that? These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 Irises at Hazakura Temple. 2 of them? Even the time when the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell. In other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means the Iris that was at the dinner was the real Iris. And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple? But someone else dressed as her. Namely, one Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you even know what you're saying, Wright? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans to talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witnesses currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris. What? Calm down and remember what you know about the murder night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, Dahlia Hawthorne had been channeled. Would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was later that the body was moved by Pendulum. That's right. Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There, they found Iris in a room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. Yes, I suppose. Can't deny any of that. Thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced. But something still seems off. Way off. I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night. Huh. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places? Switched places? To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do now. And unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial. Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere. Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne? Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Oh? Explain yourself. Yesterday for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown. Unknown? What do you mean? What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised. Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move about freely like that? I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris a chance to freely move about was... Yeah. Because remember he fainted when the earthquake hit? And Iris ran off? Seemingly to the inner temple? Yeah. But this is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it? Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? An earthquake? Earthquake! Oh my goodness! The inner temple! This kind of tremor might... How could I have... She fled. She escaped. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne. That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No objection is right mind when consider the idea of spirit channeling and be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge. That voice. Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, I always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. Dahlia Hawthorne. And my current profession? Permanently retired. Huh. So So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me. What is going on here? Dahlia Hawthorne. Never thought we'd meet again. Never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her and for myself. Yeah, quite the cliffhanger, huh? Yeah, Dahlia Hawthorne's back. Yeah. Not to see how that turns out next time, yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching. And feel free to like and comment and subscribe and check out my Twitch and Ko-Fi and Twitter/X. The next episode will continue the trial and yeah, still some cool stuff to happen. So look forward to that. And peace off.